Is Cardano's savior the knight in shining armor? Can I get a round of applause? Midnight is doing very well, and it's taking a lot of people by surprise. Now, the question then becomes, can it save Cardano? And, well, does Cardano need saving? Some people say yes. If it does, will Midnight be the one? Or is Cardano still a project you don't really want to touch? We're going to have that very important discussion. Today, we're also going to talk about some of the altcoins we've been highlighting last week, recapping how they've performed. And, well, if you kind of jumped on the bandwagon, you should be feeling pretty good right now. We have some news with Michael Saylor. We have some news with prediction markets. We have some news with Bitcoin price action, what stablecoin DeFi is doing. Also have a very special guest in studio. Gina, roll the intro. Thank you.
Hola! It's your boy Big Rob back in the house. Welcome to Sin City Crypto, home of the entertainment-focused cryptocurrency content. We take old, boring, and stale information. We do it better. Thank you. You know what? We saw Bitcoin push up to 90,000. And so, here we are again. However, unlike last week, we did not get straight rejected and right back down to 86,000 like we saw time and time again. Just a recap here. Last week, we went up to 90,000 briefly. This is a candle wick here. And if you want to look at it on TradingView, you can see here we would shoot up, come down, shoot up, come down. Anyways, we got bluntly rejected like David did in high school every time we got to 90K. However, now we are sitting right there at 90,000, even though we went up there this morning. So feel pretty confident that we might cross 90,000 and head up to that 6-digit 100K, perhaps. Also, some altcoins are showing life. Not all of them. Not the ones that have been dying over time. And what do I mean by dying over time? Well, let's take a quick peek here. You got on the 24-hour here, we'll go down to the 7-day. But on the ones that are selling off over the last week, you got Pump.Fun, Starknet, Aster, BitTensor. So we've seen some blood in the streets, but we're starting to see some gainers, man. Humanity Protocol and Beat, two projects I routinely talked about last week, both in the top 100. Humanity Protocol, something I think might materialize into something that might be more than just a flash in the pan for a rally. It has a utility for biometrics. Basically, you can use the ZK rollup technology on it to like sign in and out of like websites and other dApps and applications and DeFi and RWA platforms without needing to KYC. You can just proof of human here. It seems a niche that doesn't have a lot of competition. That's always a fan of mine. Beat, I talked about this last week. However, Beat, kind of gimmicky. I don't think it really has staying power. And Midnight performed pretty well as well, from 5 cents to 10 cents. So I know that was the theme of today's show.
Wow.
So little volatility in the alts, little volatility in Bitcoin. It hasn't sold off. What do you think, man? You think we get a little Christmas rally, or?
I still think 90K is going to be a magnet to more downside. So if we get another rally up to 90, I think we get rejected. I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, I think the level to look out for is 92.5. And we'll talk about more. I'll give more of an in-depth in the trading show later today. And so if you want kind of more of my in-depth analysis on price action, make sure to come join me. But as Rob mentioned, 90.5K has been a rejection magnet. You can see here a little better on the 30-minute time frame. I mean, we were seeing 30-minute candles that would engulf the previous 3-4 candles, right? You got one here that engulfed the previous like 6. And then the spill off started to become a little less, right? This was a big one. This was a big one. Decent size, chop, chop, chop. Decent size, put in a higher low. And we'll see where this one lands. If this is the local bottom here on Bitcoin, from the move up again to 90.5K, then I do think we take 91, and then 92.5 is what I'm going to be looking at in terms of, hey, is this chop sideways market over? And are we going to see more? We're going to see more upside price action. But until we get to that level, I'm still, to me, I look at the numbers and it says 90.5. We're going to get rejected again, unless that structurally changes. So with that being said, we're going to get into the midnight talk here, but I want to introduce a special guest. I went to high school with this gentleman. So, when Rob said I got rejected in high school, there's no one better to talk about it, that besides me, obviously, than this man. His name is Cash.
Hello,
Cash, welcome to the show.
Hi, gentlemen. Thank you for having me today.
Of course. Cash,
rejection.
It's your first time here.
Yes, it is. Beautiful studio y'all have.
Appreciate it, man. We'd love for you to kind of give people a little background on yourself.
Cool.
And, of course, you're a crypto journey. You've been in the space a while, so please take it away.
Cool. First off, shout out to Bang for getting me here today. Call me. Appreciate you. So high school, we'll start. I had, we went to Liberty High School out here in Las Vegas, graduated. We were the first graduating class, believe it or not. We were the first ones to walk in and the first ones to put on the cap and gown. I like that. Ended up in high school, my band got signed. That was interesting. The Cab. Did a little bit of touring. After that, I quit, man, and all I had was some ex-followers. Landed in a digital marketing space back when I saw a Sears commercial and it said, find us on Facebook. So my brain was kind of like, that might be a job. Found a PR firm, started working for free. And that actually led me to a gentleman. His name was Michael Turpin, who has been dubbed by MSNBC and stuff as the godfather of crypto. So that got my introduction to Bitcoin, I think, in 2013, 2014. And every door kind of opened from there, man. I think I made my first buy in 2016 in a hotel. It was at the South Point over here at the deli. I bought cryptocurrency.
The Vig Deli?
Yep. Bought my first crypto in person. Coinbase wasn't real. None of these things that people talk about, and just kind of been on the journey ever since. Ended up owning an NFT community and that whole that wave of let's buy $1,000 pictures for $3,000 worth of gas. Love the community to death. It is what has kept me in crypto though, and kept me kind of at the pulse of some of the stuff. But I tend to lean more into the personalities of the space that kind of drive it forward versus tokens and utilities, but they do share a cross point or a crossing path a lot more than I think people talk about. Because if you have community, you have support on something, therefore something can go towards the forefront. And I think that's what you're kind of seeing with this Midnight token with Cardano. Like everybody who is on that network's like, oh shit, we see the light, and it's pushing it forward. And I think having that active community base. So without talking too much in a circle, that's the little backstory from music to crypto just getting on internet for the first time in 1996, bro. AOL dial-up, that's what we did.
Those are the good days.
Yes, sir.
I'm happy you brought up midnight. Let's start here. Well, first of all, we had a super chat from the Ignorant Bastard. $20 said, keep up the good work. Appreciate it. ITIB, TIB. Get it? The Ignorant Bastard? It's an acronym. Thank you.
Very good at words and letters there, brother.
I'm very good at words and letters. Just ask Cash. I was #1 in high school.
It was.
He said he was.
Cash Colligan, I partied with you in Chicago after a show. We took you and both Alex's and Sonny with us too. Maybe you remember, maybe not. Small world.
Interesting.
That is okay. So subterranean. Did we go to a party? Was there karaoke? Like I remember being in Chicago and people were singing like Queen for some reason. We weren't supposed to be there. We were like 18 and people walked us into a club at 21. That could have been it, but this proves to you the internet is a very, very wild place, bro. I'm sure if I was there, we had the best time. I quit drinking, but I'm sure back then, oh man, we had a great time.
What are the odds, huh?
Love it.
All right. So as Rob mentioned, midnight up to 10 cents. So on the week, it is up 69.38%. We'll call it 70% for fun. So you take a look here. This was posted by Army of Spies. Midnight doing more volume than everything except Tether, Bitcoin, and ETH, as you can see here, right? More volume than USDC, more volume than XRP, Solana, BNB, so on and so forth. You also have this as well. Cardano on-chain trading volume, not on midnight, but on Cardano, has massively increased since the night token launched. Yesterday, over 44 million ADA was traded on DEXs. Before night went live, the volume on ADA was roughly 3 million. So it has more than 11x. That's a 13x increase. Night could be the catalyst Cardano DeFi needed. Now, this used to be the talk of, well, Bitcoin DeFi equals Cardano DeFi. Now, could it be Midnight DeFi equals Cardano DeFi? And then you have Charles. Kind of, the question is, hey, is Midnight have anything to do with Cardano? Can it save Cardano? Can it bring volume? Can it bring users? Can it bring DEXs? Here's Charles kind of explaining a little bit of that.
Midnight is about doing things differently. Midnight is about a return to first principles, and every person who touches it, they get better. People say, oh, well, won't this kill Cardano? No, this is what's going to 10x the Cardano DeFi ecosystem. Because at the end of the day, let's do the thought experiment. Let's think about it. Let's say Leo ships and Hydra ships, and we're better, faster, and cheaper. Great. What reason does someone have to leave Solana, and what reason does someone have to leave Ethereum? Because the transaction fee is 3% less? Okay. That's really going to get migration. That's going to get users to come over. They're going to leave because they don't have to leave. They can go through Midnight to Cardano and they get privacy. They do something new and different. Midnight is about doing things different.
And then I do want to share one post here from Cardano Whale. Said they're going hard on night marketing, harder than they ever went on ADA in the last year. So some people are looking at this as like, it's like you have a kid and that's your only kid and you love him and all the attention goes to the kid, and then you have another one, and then the kid feels like, well, what the hell happened to me?
I think the night, as far as a having the privacy built natively in the same way that you got Arbitrum and Optimism on ETH, where it's a scaling solution. Same general tech idea here. It's a ZK rollup on top of the Cardano base layer that is programmable. Basically, you can toggle on and off privacy, right? Hey, don't want my credentials hidden. It's good tech. I'm down with it, man. Like I think it's positive. I think it's cool. You don't really see that on ETH. At least I'm not too sure. I mean, perhaps there's a chain. I'm sure there's always a dApp for everything. But is there a widely used roll up that enables privacy on Ethereum? Same thing can be said for Solana. I don't know. So that's positive. That said, there's still a lot of gaping holes in Cardano's ecosystem. And I think it's solely on DeFi, and particularly a lack of stablecoins, the Tether. And, there is a potential for Circle to come, which is good. It's a step in the right direction. But there's still a lot of work to be done. And it just seems, from me, I feel that at this point in 2026, now that they've had 10 years at, the Cardano has had 10 years at it. It's like when? And, I'm not seeing any promising DeFi on the horizon. And I think that ultimately you have to have that. You have to check. Well,
that's what Charles said, right? He said Midnight will bring DeFi from the other chains. So Midnight will be essentially like the bridge, the middle layer that connects.
How?
What do you mean how?
What I'm saying is that it's on Cardano. So it Midnight didn't connect to other chains. Midnight is a ZK rollup on Cardano's base layer. So now if there's interoperability between Cardano and other chains, then that's a Cardano thing, right? I mean, I don't know. Maybe I missed the mark on Midnight. Maybe it's a cross-chain aggregate. Maybe it facilitates transactions from different chains. But from my understanding, that is more or less Cardano's kind of thing. I know that. I don't know. I'm not sold on the DeFi aspect. It's far, far away. And at the base layer, taking stable coins and value from another chain to bring over to yours for the DeFi ain't the way to do it. Build a DeFi from the ground up on your own base chain. bring in the stable coins, bring in the users, bring in the developers, the dApps, bring in the community. It all needs to be grown naturally. You can't just siphon off Ethereum's DeFi. If people want to facilitate DeFi, they'll just do it on ETH. Why would they bring it over to you know what I mean? Like, it's stupid. You're asking someone to.
Well, the idea is they're going to want privacy in what they're doing, and Midnight's going to be the best product to use if it gets to that
so
point.
You think? So who wants privacy? Corporations, companies.
I think people,
institutions.
I would take private. Like here's the thing.
But 99.9% of retail, people like me and you don't want privacy. I don't care less if people see my transactions. With that said, who is demanding privacy? It's
pretty
companies.
sure my grandmother just gave her phone number to a fake Disney cruise yesterday. So as far as privacy is concerned, right? Like, people are just giving that shit away for free these days. The thing is with this stuff and what's always resonated in Cardano, and I'm speaking solely from like a community standpoint, is like what is grabbing me onto that, because before you can sell the tech, before you can sell the idea, you have to have enough people willing to give a shit about where it's going to head. So,
but Cardano has that.
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly. So if you're solving a problem, now just bring that community into it, and you're seeing a little bit of movement in the traction with the token. So like, if you're able to capitalize on what it does and keep this movement with the content, the video content, keep pulling the people in, I think some of the time it's almost like when you're trying to explain quantum physics to a 5th grader, right? I think sometimes you put the cart way too and far ahead of the horse, and you kind of miss some of the messaging along the way. Like someone like me, not the most like dev heavy type of person. I'm more likely going to come into a system and be all in, all chips on the table, if that path is clear and not just the words, right? Like, explain it to me, the open market, that I'm here to have fun. I know crypto's the future. Why should I be a part of this community? Because ultimately, at the end of the day, I don't care what it solves. I care if you're going to be around for the next 5 or 10 years.
But you see, that's the painful aspect of Cardano, is that they have such a big community. Everyone's there trying to prop up and leverage and use. And, you know, you go to conventions and people are talking about it and people are excited about the potential of Cardano. And so unlike other chains, like you look at competition and other layer ones, kind of have it backwards, right? They have the DeFi, they have the stable coins, they have the programmers, they have the tech, and then it's there. They just lack the community, they lack the transactions, they lack the people behind it pushing the ecosystem forward. And then it's like the opposite over here, right? People are begging for some dApps, right?
Yep.
Now, like Charles always gets on, he's like, our community's building. I'm like, let's be real. Like, people, there's just not a big dApp on there. I couldn't name you more than 2 dApps on there. And with that said, there's a lack of liquidity. People are getting taken advantage of, front run on DeFi side. Yep. And it's just literally off the back of the lack of stablecoins. Like, I'm telling you, that's like ground number one. If you're building Legos, it's the main blocks in the bottom. Then, you know what I mean? Like, it's the foundation of DeFi. You need the damn stablecoin. You need some Tether in there, bro. Or at least some Circle.
If they found the perfect formula between what NFTs were able to do with community and financing and raising and artwork and value there, or whatever that intentional emotional value was, with these products that actually kick ass and do provide value in this space, yet to see it solved. Yet to see it solved perfectly. Like, if Bored Ape was doing what the Midnight token did, granted different chains, this and that, there's your perfect solution to
one can argue
Solana.
Solana kind of did that, right? Is they have the community, they have the dApps, they have the liquidity. People are excited to use it. People like using it.
But
they had the stablecoins and the DeFi.
But then you'll get pump.fun and somebody holding a gun to a goldfish and rugging people of $30,000 worth of Solana off of a stream with a goldfish, and
that's
you're just
not
like,
Solana's fault,
shit.
though, right?
No, it's not. But it is the degenerative emotion of the network. People will go on there for that low bear of entry. Like ETH, you're not going to get that, because how much does it cost to launch your contracts or whatever, right? So you get a little more, I'll try to do this a little more professional. But Solana, I mean, in Pump Fund, great investment in my opinion, because they're always going to turn and burn these live streams where people are rugging people. So might as well invest in the tech that's pushing this crime is legal pump and dump streams or whatever they're doing. So I don't know. It's fun. Just a little insight. Don't want to take you too off of it.
No,
but
you're fine, dude. I actually think midnight could be good for Cardano.
I agree.
I think if you look at what Charles Hoskinson has said previously, and when he built Cardano, what he would do differently. And now he has a brand new chain that he has done those things differently. It's a lot easier to build on. It's a lot easier to attract developers. They're working on the stable coins and everything else. My only question is, I saw the roadmap. It's supposed to be completed by Q3 of next year. Is it going to be another scenario like Cardano where it just takes forever? I don't know. Maybe it took forever because of the way Cardano was set up and because of, the Haskell programming language. And I don't know the in-depth answer to that question. Is it going to be like that? Or because he made those changes and Midnight is built differently from the ground up, it's going to be a lot easier to get the things they need to make the chain successful and operational to its full extent a lot faster. That remains to be seen, but I don't think, in my personal opinion, we shouldn't write off Midnight. We shouldn't write off what benefit it could have on Cardano. At the end of the day, Cardano has longevity. It's decentralized. It's very secure. It's definitely not perfect, and it's got the community. So I've always said the big thing with Cardano is how are they selling their chain, right?
Yes.
What's your elevator pitch, right? Who are you selling to? If you're selling to retail, you're doing a shitty job. If you're selling to institutions, you're doing an okay job. And so you got to figure out where you're selling to, and can Midnight clear some of those things up? Maybe. I don't know, but I don't think you should just completely write it off. Seeing the trading volume, seeing how it's performing. And remember, everything for the most part is down.
Yes.
Midnight almost 2x'd in less than a week.
Yeah,
And so
but it's got that volatility from a recent, airdrop. It came out at $2, and I know that was a mismatch on market maker price, whatever it is. Early token distribution dynamics caused a lot of sell pressure initially. Expected an airdrop, but also what's also expected an airdrop is if you fall 90% on price, you're going to get a massive bounce, or at least a big bounce, and that's exactly what we saw. I would be extremely careful. I got no problem. Like, if you're a fan of Night, I got no problem, waiting it out, kind of seeing where this thing will trade at. It's number 40 on the market cap list. Like, guys, if you bought it right now, I don't think that I would be hesitant if you bought it now. Like, the upside risk versus the downside, or upside reward versus downside risk is a big mismatch right now, man. I'm not saying you can't make money. I'm not saying that this, we can't look here a month and a half from now and it's not at 15 cents. But I mean, you got a lot of downside risk here, man. And you look here, I mean, that's the very few. This is only the 24-hour candle. So we've only had, a little less than 2 weeks. And so a lot of time these new projects, they just, they'll get your ass, man. A good example. I mean, look.
do you think it does pull back to that 5 cent region, 5-6 cent region? I don't know if it does.
You don't know if it, ICP is a great chart to look at, man. ICP is like, you look at what ICP did when it came out. It had a mismatch on price. And then
What are the top wallets holding?
Yeah, so
Night.
Yeah, is there a 28% holder? or
Nah,
something
it was
on
a
the
glacier.
token?
It's pretty spanned out, but
so I mean, if you look back, at ICP, initially after, it had a mismatch on price, came out at $400. You could have bought here at 255 and watched it go up to $300. Like, yeah, bro, I got it.
yeah.
And then goes down to $120. And then you're like, all right, well, and then it bounces back to 160. Or how about when it dropped down to $30? And then this would have been a great time to buy, right? $30. It rallied to 50. It traded at 40 for a while, and it was at $70, $80. Now look at it, it's at $3. I'm just saying that, upside reward versus downside risk, And ICP is a project I'm a fan of that has utility, bro. Like this is a project that I think is going places. And that's the scary thing is that this thing, and I think that Midnight will be fine. I think that Midnight serves a function. I think it's as long as Cardano's ecosystem is popular, and God hope that we get some stable coins in there, and that eventually that'll come, I'm sure. And anyways, when that happens, I think Midnight will be good. But like buying in currently after this big drop in price, I don't know, man. I wouldn't touch it. Me personally, like I ain't touching that. Not for months.
I don't know about for months, but I yeah, you know me. I don't get on trains moving 100 miles an hour, right? You wait for the next stop, but okay.
What about how did Arbitrum? I wonder how did Arbitrum and Optimism perform after their airdrop? Because that was something that had a lot of buzz.
Arbitrum?
Yeah. So Arbitrum is number 58 on the market cap list. I mean, I don't know. I'm just I mean, this one came out at look here at $1.80, and then dropped down to $1.20, rallied to $1.50, 70 cents, $2. It's at 18 cents. I'm just this just happens. Oh, like you can sit here and roll the dice. I'm just telling you, this is like I am a man of
courage,
of repetition, man. Like I've been burned so many damn times that like, like you date some drunk girl that just keeps cheating on you. You're gonna stop dating drunk girls, bro. I'm telling you.
But they're so fun when they're drunk.
Well, they are fun, but
very fun.
And so, anyways, it's like, bro, I kept getting burned, over and over again on these airdrops.
Those brain calluses, man.
Like, I mean, even one of the most successful airdrops in the history of airdrops, which was Uniswap. I mean, even that thing rallied crazy.
Hyperliquid was very successful. Too.
Well, here's a good question to bring up then, because this happened a lot in the NFT space, right? Which is like, is just secondary market of tokens just like a trash idea? Like, does that make sense?
What do you mean?
For example, like, I mean, all NFTs are, right? It's just like high valued, low supplied tokenomics, kind of what happens with meme coins. But the thing that like messed it up a lot is like once you own your token, I can resell it or throw it on eBay in this ecosystem of like, so now we've kind of gotten this position where these products that actually are good, they do have utility, but you throw it out to a secondary market where like 12-year-olds playing in their basement are trying to make $7 because they can trade for less than a penny per gas transaction. It just like, it almost seems unsustainable sometimes for it to take this approach when you have these tokens. Like I miss like raising capital and seed funding and not this approach of like, well, if I hold enough supply and people buy enough, then I'll have enough to take my company from here to here.
That's
or whatever's going on in this
talking
space.
Are you talking about airdrop farming in specific?
I think just in general how people are like in their head expecting for the rollouts to go and the money to come in. And I think sometimes 99.9% of the time it just doesn't happen, therefore it just falls apart. Every now and then you get one that moons or Pudgy Penguins breaks through type shit, but the rest is like it's all dependent on people who are trying to make $3 a trade.
Well, you got to ask yourself, like, first of all, like with Midnight, like what does the Midnight token essentially get you, right?
Right.
Governance, and you don't even pay gas fees with it because it's paid with the dust token. And you get rewarded in the dust token.
But this space is like such a market predicted on like lotteries. Like, is there a once a week I drop in a dust and night token and spin a slot machine? And because that's what people look at as like real utility with communities within their ecosystems is like, what can I do with the tokens?
Yeah, wait. Yeah, and for
like
me, I look at the Midnight token. I'm just like, where am I incentivized to buy this? And like, explain to me why buying now, airdropping and holding is a different story, right?
Correct.
You get airdropped, you hold, cool. All right. But
it's locked for a year. It's gaining 12%, and it's on Solana. Cool, that's English.
But where is the incentive for me to take my stable coins and purchase a token that got airdropped?
Right.
And it's hard. Like, and especially for Midnight, like, bro, if I'm bullish on Cardano, I'll just buy Cardano.
Right. That's it.
If I need it for transaction fees, I don't even buy it.
Well, because ultimately the success of, let's say, Midnight is the success of something on a Cardano chain, right? Like you're investing in in the meat and potatoes of the whole thing going on. But back to that whole just, you know, that business model in itself, I think is why some of these people with these amazing ideas, they just need that extra push. Now, is it like, I don't know if you were alluding to this, David, but like Cardano themselves pushing forward things that they know worth a damn, or like Solana or some of like, they all have the capability. Like Magic Eden has the capability to put something on the front page and tell the world like, this is what you should buy today. But do they care more about making money, or do they care more about us getting things of value to push the space forward? And right now it's money.
Yeah, I mean, dude, 99%.
They don't want us to use good tech and change the
one gives a
world
shit.
or whatever we were talking about.
And to Rob's credit, he points this out all the time. When you go to CoinMarketCap, you hit the About page. It's a bunch of buzzwords and shit that people get excited about. And so
we're going to fractionally dividend the flub.
Yeah, it's 99% of these companies are looking to make money. But it's business, right?
100%.
Businesses are starting to make money. We started this business to make a career and make money. And so
that's business in general. Is just like,
but look what you
you're
found
trying to
along the
solve
way: content, community, growing it appropriately. I think you guys
true,
are learning,
but
right?
not a lot of people get to that point.
Correct.
They extract value, then they leave.
Well, I mean, the idea behind business and even technology is to solve.
Congrats on your plaque, by the way. Congrats on your plaque, by the way.
Did you
Congrats.
see it in the hallway?
I did. It looks nice.
Yeah. So solve a problem and get paid for doing it.
Yes.
That's essentially business. That's essentially technology, right? It's like, hey, what's the problem? Cool. I fixed it. Now pay me some money.
But is
your
it a
life
problem?
is better and I got rewarded for it.
Is it just your problem, or is it a problem for the world?
I think it's both, right? I mean, it doesn't need to be, you know, one person or the world. You know, it's like at the end of the day, like, you know, you just get paid equivalent to however many problems however many people you help, right? And so if everybody gives me a penny and I helped 5 people, then it really wasn't really worth my time. But if I get a penny and I help, 5 million people, then at that point it ends up being lucrative. Or if I get paid $500 and I help 5 people, that ends up being my time. So I guess it ends up being
it's just a fun game, right? Because like you invent a token, right? It's amazing. It helps only 4 people. But somehow it has a market cap value of 1 billion. That you go, how did we get here? What the fuck just happened? Because the T-shirt was great or something, right? Like had a good promo.
Yeah,
I love it though, and I think if anybody who's in this space, I think this is what keeps people in the space, right? Is why did they move this way, or why did they do this before doing that? And I think, I don't know, if you could take a little bit from everybody and follow the journeys, it's fun.
It's like crypto currently is in the same situation, at least how I look at it, as the internet was after the .com boom or bubble. And so there's going to be clear-cut winners that were invested in early, that came out. Amazon's a good example, Google, whatever it is. These certain companies, we just know they're just going to keep accruing value. They're going to keep growing. Like, has there been a bad time to invest in Amazon? Not really, if you had a longer than a 12-month time horizon.
Fact.
And then I think the same can be said for Bitcoin and Ethereum and maybe Solana. And, so just hammer in on those. And then there's things that just get trendy, right?
Yep.
And I think that's it, man. Like, just pick the things that trend, man. Like, we're in a market. Like, I open up the show. And here I talked about humanity, and it's not about like hyping ourselves up or something. I'm just like, this is how you make money. Is like, you just find projects that are trending, you catch them early, and then you freaking invest in them. That's it. And then then when it's time to leave, you pack it up and you take your profits. And then if you want a long-term position, Bitcoin, ETH, maybe Solana, or Bitcoin, Solana, whatever it is. I talked about this yesterday. I said, hey, look, this thing's rounding out here. Former top 100. It was at like number 170 on the list. I'm like, it used to be in the top 100. I was like, I'm looking at 20 to 30 cents. Said this 3 times last week. Here it is at 20 cents. Big rally, exact same chart. Pull up the receipts if you want. And it's just like, you just go down the list. Like, I don't know. I'm not seeing anything else that's catching my eye at this exact moment. I went through this morning. I was looking last night. I'm not seeing anything else at the moment. I don't know how much further this one particularly will run. This beat one's interesting. I talked about it as well last week.
We did.
I gave you a breakdown. I went to their website. I pulled up some YouTube videos. Like, I don't know what else I got to do for you guys.
Is this kind of like the beginning of like, you know, like with retail, how you have small businesses and all this shit, and then like now we're heading into a world where like everybody owns all the companies are owned by like 7 things. Is this like the intro to that, with like everybody and their mom can come out with a product, do this, the ones that are good end up getting dissolved and bought out, and like 20, 30 years from now, we just have 7 or 8 chains that we have access to, and you can't do all this shit anymore? Are we just like,
I kind of think so.
Free data points and like kind of like Facebook, right? Like it was just Mark Zuckerberg chilling, but now it's a conglomerate and it's capped out. It's out. You're out. No one ever is coming out with shit like that again.
You can always grab new internet investments, right? It's like investing in internet-based applications. Like there's going to be something that replaces Facebook, right? Facebook's already kind of on the way down. It's very popular internationally. It used to be giant here in the U.S., but Facebook is losing steam. Eventually, it'll get replaced. Same thing with Instagram, and same thing with Apple, like the iPhone. Now, how much more runway does it have? I don't know. And so for me, I never think that a sector or a market is capped out. And I think that like, hey, maybe it won't rally. Maybe there won't be a competitor to knock off iPhone this next year or 2 years from now. But if you just sit here and say like they'll never go anywhere, you're gonna lose, right? You're gonna miss out on opportunity. So for me, I'm always searching. And now I do this in crypto. And so if I was not in crypto, I would do the same thing. I'd be like, hey, where's the next tech move? Like, right? Is it AI? AI seems a little overbought, oversaturated. Is there any more AI plays to pull out of the traditional AI, not crypto? I don't know. I'm not deep enough in that sector. It's not my investment corridor. But for me, I'm like, hey, like, where am I going to find my money making opportunities, and what is trending? Because we did it with Zcash and Dash. Here we were calling that at Zcash was at $20. Over here, just repeatedly hammering it out, like, hey guys, ran up to 400, right? 400, $700.
Yep.
And the same thing with Dash. That one didn't run quite as hard. There were some other ones as well. We don't nail them all. I know we were pretty hyped up on Aerodrome and some other plays.
I still like Aerodrome.
Yeah,
longer term.
and it's not and it's not like we promoted any straight losers, but like at the same time, it's like,
I mean, we've been promoting you, but that's a different story.
I appreciate that, bro.
I do want to read off a couple super chats here, both from the Ignorant Bastard. He said, privacy is one aspect, not just for Cardano over the next year. One every 2 months, it'll bring on other chains like Solana, ETH, and Bitcoin. Yes, but again, is it going to take forever? Is it going to take a year? Is it going to take, we say 2 months, but is that actually going to happen? And the second super chat, again, $10, said, key tonight is if you hold it, you will gain dust and then offer your dust to the commodities marketplace for dApps to use. Dust will run only on dust, great for passive income in Q4. Q4, right? And here's the other thing, and I'll leave it at this and we'll move on from Midnight and Cardano, is I think a lot of people are kind of jaded, or at least the people in the Cardano ecosystem, of how long things have played out. Beginning of this year, there was this whole roadmap. We're going to do this. We're going to integrate Chainlink. We're going to get stables. And it didn't happen. We're going to Africa and Ethiopia, and nothing really happened. So to me, I'm in a prove it to me stage with Cardano. I still think Midnight can be successful. And in turn, I think that can make Cardano successful as well. How successful? I don't know. So with that being said, I want to move on. Real quick, I got to ask. I've seen this question. So you guys saw Jake Paul fought Anthony Joshua. I mean, take a look at this. Broke his jaw in 2 places. And I keep seeing this post. Was this worth $92 million? Rob, would you let me break your jaw for $92 million?
I'll fight somebody for $92 million. I'm just not going to let somebody break my jaw.
Bro, you could break my jaw for
$5?
I'm gonna say $100,000.
Really?
It doesn't matter, bro. 6 weeks. It's healed up. It's done. Got insurance. See you later. Don't have to talk to anybody for 6 weeks. Could care less. Oh, no. I got to shut my fucking mouth for 6 weeks and got paid.
Yeah, and be in pain and probably ruin your bite for the rest of your life. But that's okay.
Bring on the pain.
I'm glad we know your jaw is worth less than $100,000.
Bring on the pain.
I want to talk about this.
And was it 92 million? Like they fluff all that shit. Like after taxes, cut in half, pay your managers.
The manager's gonna siphon so much.
But you got 20 million cash for whatever all that bullshit was. Great job, Jake Paul. Great job.
The taxes are gonna hit
Great job.
hard too. Yeah,
Not in Puerto Rico.
Probably 20% of what
yeah.
Probably what you get. 20.
Oh, dude, you get 20%.
Yeah, probably what hits his bank account, what number does he actually realize is probably somewhere between 20-30%.
Yeah.
They just be saying shit. Money ain't real anymore, y'all.
Yeah. Well, at least what Elon Musk says. And then we have this as well. President Trump expected to name new Fed chair to replace Jerome Powell by the first week of January. We have some big numbers coming out. GDP numbers are coming out. We have the next Fed meeting as well as not until January. And so a lot of people are holding on to hope for this. And then I do want to give a highlight. Bitcoin has dumped a little further from when we started the show. From around, well, we were above 89K. We're down to 88.7. And I told you guys I've been shorting the markets, and well, I got in at 89.1. Currently in the profit. I got my TP set at 88.385 with my stop loss at 89.310. If you want more trades, stay in the chat. You'll be automatically redirected to the trading show here in a little bit. Gentlemen, we're going to wrap up the show. Rob, any final thoughts?
Nah, man. I would just say be very weary. I think a lot of people are expecting a dull trading week. I don't think that people are thinking that there's going to be much movement. I think that what we saw last week out of Bitcoin was that, hey, it had a failure to break 90,000, but it also just didn't really sell off much. So I think a lot of people are getting comfortable. Even on the 1 month, you can see it just had a lot of consolidation. With that said, you're getting tighter moves here, a shorter channel. And so as trading tightens up, usually you get big breakouts. And so I would be very cautious to if you're expecting Bitcoin not to make a big move by Christmas, I have a feeling we're going to see a giant move. I think perhaps to the upside or downside, that I'm not quite too sold on. I don't know, man. I don't know. But 99,000, 105,000 wouldn't surprise me. Same thing.
By what, this week?
Yeah. And then at the same time, I wouldn't be surprised to see a big downside move and to catch like a $79,000 Bitcoin. I think volatility is shaping up this week. I think it's going to surprise people. I think that by Sunday we're going to come back and be like, "Hey, man, we didn't see that coming. That was huge, big."
I can see that happening. I can. Cash, anything you want to show your socials?
My socials.
Where people can find you.
The Voice of Cash. Thanks for having me on today, guys. I think just in general with this crypto space, if you're new to it, whether you've been in it, I've been doing it for I bought Bitcoin for the first time. I think it was valued at like 2,600, right? I think you guys alluded to it the first time on the shows. If you have real conviction plays, especially if you're young, right? Like I'm 36. If you're 25, 21, you're just looking into this a little bit all the time goes a long way. This is coming from somebody who's just a little bit all the time for over a decade. Just keep adding value into yourself. Don't bet the whole house. Read more than you invest. And I think you'll have a good time out here, man. It's all about the education. Keep learning, keep growing, meet good people, watch good content. And, sometimes take a risk for the dopamine because we all need that in our life.
Amen to that. Or you can just drink a bang. And that's his handle. If you want to go follow him, I'm actually going to drop this in the
Voice of Cash
in the comment section.
And autism acceptance.
Yes.
Everyone knows somebody, right? Call them, hug them, love them. Autism acceptance, y'all.
Amen to that.
Yes,
all right,
sir.
Gina, roll the outro. That was a terrible tornado. We want to thank you all very much for tuning in. In 10 minutes, I'll be going live to break down the charts. Come join me. We love you guys. Till then.
Sin City, crypto, everybody know what we here for. Entertainment and info, gonna show you how to get that big dough. So every day stay tapped in, for big facts, no capping. With Bitcoin, if you're in, then you win. We divide the pie with no fraction. It's Big Rob, David, I split the game, but they gave it. Name the coin that's your favorite. I got dry powder, why save it? To the OGs, new beginners. Special shout out to the well members. Buy a dip, sell winners. Ain't really nothing you can tell sinners. Tune in for the latest new flavors. They gonna teach us mean coins. They polarizing like barbecue chicken pizzas. I laugh with a major grin. Laggers, we trade them in. Baddies, they came to sin. And sinners gon' play to win. Screaming hola till my bags are flowing over. Hold ya to the moon and to the solar. Won't I? Don't be letting FOMO control ya. It's over when the finger tornado